All right, here we go. We're gonna show you how I get started in an Onshape program. So I download this. We'll throw that. Okay, right there. Getting started, and go open that up and unzip it. Now, if you know Python, you could probably do the same thing with Python. I don't know Python at all, so I'm just going to skip over that. I'll take this. I'm going to move this back to my root and paste it here. And then I'm going to rename that server because that's going to be my server. And I don't need any of this anymore. And then I'm going to open up this directory right here in code. That's what I use as code. It's simple. Opened up a new wrong window, but there we go. And then I bring up my terminal control tilde, I believe that is. And here I am. Now I want to switch over to my server. So cd server. And if we look in this server, it's only got one dependency, which is minimist. But we will do an npm install. And I have to go get some data from some sort of file. Let's open this one because it's simple. So I'm gonna need this information, my document. And I can go to README file. And we are going to, let's just download. Do nothing. You could just go through all of these and basically run them. Export this guy right here. So here's the usage. Let's copy that down there. This is basically proving that it works. So we'll throw in this document right here, Control X, Control V, that's in there. We'll go get my, I don't know how I got here. Which document was I in? Let's just pick one of these. We'll pick that one. So we got my document. That's going to be the same document. We're going to get the workspace. Or you get the version if you have a version. And paste that into there. And then we need this guy here, which is the element. This will change if you change branches. This will stay the same, and this will stay the same. Kind of neat. So now I could actually run that and see if it works. Locally, I'm in my server. It should work just fine. API key. Oh yeah, forgot about that. So let's go get an API key. Create a new API key. Permissions. I just select everything. Except that one. I don't want it to request purchases. No, it seems to work. So there's my API key. So the way I do this is I do a env file, .env file, new file. .env. And we'll call this E, all capitals, underscore, I forgot what they called it, access key. Doesn't look like enough numbers or letters. Let's just look. That is. And we're also going to need the secret key. Gets a space as well, that's why. And down here we are going to install npm install, probably be a lowercase npm install .env. We'll save this, should be done there. I need a git ignore file, so I'll just copy that in here. And I guess I should explain the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing the .env file. Basically, this is not going to go into my GitHub. Git ignore .env and env won't allow it in there, and then people can't steal my secret key. I mean, you can right now, but actually I'm going to delete that. So let's go over to my, I'm going to delete that secret key. So we'll go over to my configuration file, these keys, and we are going to use process dot. Let me see if I could, I have to get this in here. So I am going to copy this from another file over here on the screen that you can't see. So I'm going to need this in here. And I will need to change this. We'll call this process.env dot on exactly what we called it in the env file. Hopefully that's what we called it. So let's just check. Onshape access key and Onshape secret key. Yes. So now what that does is when this goes up there, of course, you cannot see these keys when it goes up to GitHub. So let's see if that works. No, it does not. Alright, so it's, I think I renamed this wrong. I forgot to rename this actually. Let's try that. And set saved. Something gave me an incorrect format. I know. I think I see the issue. This has to be in here. And this actually has to be in here too. Sitting outside of there. So let's go look at that. And there we go, it works. that's one big giant STL file. Maybe I should have picked a smaller one. I'll pause that until that's done loading. Okay, I picked a smaller file. That one was too big for testing. So this one here, I go back over here and I run that with the new file. It's pretty quick to run. And bam. So next thing we need to do is install our Express server. So that's over here. Basically, we take their code as well, I believe. Let's see, where is their code? This code right here. Copy that. And we'll go over here, we'll install it. So npm install. Just could do an I. We're going to do Express. And then we're going to also need cores. And might as well install NodeMon because that just makes life easier. Pause that while it starts. Actually, while that starts, we go and make a new file. Call this server.js. Throw that into there. And that gives hello world on port 3000. We're going to make that port 8000 because I'm going to run my local host on port 3000. My client, I should say. So this here, I want to look at this real quick. So we're going to need to add in, got Express, we're going to need cores. And let's throw that in there. I'm just copying and pasting from my other file. Cores is, it allows you to do the cross-origin talking. Well, I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't work without it. And actually, I'm using cores locally and also on my, actually, I'm not sure if I'm using it on my DigitalOcean or not. I can't quite remember. So we got that, hello world. Let's just try that out on 8000. So if I go npm, that's one other thing I want to do here. Listen, I want to throw a little console log in here at the bottom. Just so I know what port I'm on when I look at the screen down here. Well, when I look at the console. npm start, I believe. Let's see, will that work? Run Express on port 8000. And if I save this, it should restart it. And it doesn't. Let's see if it's working. Go to localhost 8000. It should say hello world. There, it's working. No man. Let's just change one little thing here. Get rid of that space. Add the space back in. Save. No man doesn't seem to be working. I know why. Let me check on that and I'll be right back. Nice unplanned video here. So we got to go in here and on my start, I need a start script. Where are my scripts? I don't even have scripts in here. Well, that's a problem. So let's go copy these scripts from here. Throw this right below here. And what that's doing, it's actually starting node mon, and then it's starting server.js. So let's just stop this, Control C, and restart. And node-mon's working. So if I make a change to anything in here, or just save it, it restarts my server, which is very convenient when you're developing. So the next thing to do is, so we know we've got this working. So let's go create a route to get that. Let's get a route. I'm just going to copy and paste it from my. This is just simple and quick. So we'll just go back to here. Where is it? Server.js. So there's my one route. Here's my new route. That's my route to get the. So instead of calling this, I'm calling my get STL through the server, through the Express server, instead of calling it through the node command line. So I need to change this data here. So let me go back to this README file. Let's grab this. And this could be dynamic, of course. It should be dynamic. But for testing purposes, it doesn't matter. And we're getting that as a string, and let's see how that works. So if I go back over here and I go 8000 STL, it does not work. Is that what I called it? Let me check on this. Why is it not working? Alright, the reason it's not working is the same reason it's giving me. App OS is not defined, so I need to define that. So let's go back over here. I'm just going to copy and paste the definition. Right here. So now what that's doing is, let me just go over that real quick. Instead of this file here calling this, I'm going to call it auto my server. So it's calling this app dot, and app dot, that's app.partstudio.stl with all this information. That's how we call on a node command. Now we're going to call that out of the server. And that is, let's see, where is that? That's in my library, my app, and this is what we're calling it right here, this code right here. So let's see if that works. Refresh. And there it is. All of the data. So if I copy and paste that, I should be able to stick that into a file and open it up. But moving on, I'm going to go create a front end here, because this is actually going straight to my backend, straight to my Express server. So we'll go back into here. And actually, there's a side note here. So in this Onshape, if you look, where is it? Control F, HTTPS. So this is where it's encoding everything, sending it to the server. So if it's an HTTP, it doesn't encode it. This is actually the node commands, If it's HTTPS, it does encode it, and it uses this crypto to encode it, which is right here. Well, it uses that, and then it uses HTTPS of the node. So we'll go over here. Let's go back in here. Make a new one. I usually run this one in the server. So if we Control C here, no, Control C. I'm on the server. So if we go npm start server again. It's just the way I do it. And my second one is usually the client. So I don't have a client right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a client. I forgot how, so let me just pause this real quick and look. So I'm going to create a React client. So here's how you create it right here. So I'll go back into here, create this from the root, and I'm just going to call this client. Makes it simple. I like simple. And we'll pause this while that creates. Okay, so that created, so we'll do npm start here too. Actually, we got to switch to cd to client. So now I just, real simple, I have a client and a server. npm start, same command on both of them. And this is the same locally as it is on DigitalOcean. Exact same setup. Except you're using on DigitalOcean, you're using PM2 to start everything. So we create that, and now what should come up is my template file for create React app. There we go, it works. Okay, so let's go back in here and delete some of the crap out of create React app. So you see my directory structure, really simple. Go into here. I don't need the logo. I don't need the testing. Just to make it simple, look cleaner. And I will go into here and I'll delete everything between these two divs out. And then let's just see how that looks, see if it still works. So it restarts for me. Look at that, it failed. It's looking for the logo. So there's the logo. We got it to fail already. There we go. So it restarts, and over here it'll restart automatically. And nothing is in there, so nothing is showing. So I'm going to go over here and copy some code. Let me look what I'm going to copy because I haven't thought about this yet. All right, we'll just download and display that text file for the STL. I don't want to get into pictures or anything; it kind of gets complicated. It's really simple. So right here, we're going to go and let's just first install Axios because we're going to need that to make our calls to our server. So we stop the process. npm install Axios. You can use fetch as well. I like Axios better personally. And then we'll go into here and we're going to need a use state. So where are we at right now? We are here and we're not importing React. Use effect as well. let's see. I deleted everything out, I guess. Use state hook. I've got this lets me set this up pretty quick. So we're going to just call this STL, tab, STL, and it's just going to be null at first or empty. We're going to create just going to create inside that div, we're going to display my STL. And then we're going to just do a use effect hook. And then we don't need any cleanup, so we'll delete that out of there. And what we'll do is I'm going to copy and paste this stuff. Makes it simpler. So my headers actually say application JSON, but we're just going to be sending text through. Let's see, get message. We're going to have to say, here we're going to say STL because that's what we called it. And set message, nah, set STL. And we can look at this data, see how it looks and all that good stuff. I'm going to save this. Something else is installing. I think that Axios is still installing. So instead of get message, it's going to be get STL. Because that's what we're doing. And that STL, so it's going to go out and get it. Send function, it's going to log it, so we'll be able to see it in the console. And then it's going to, then hopefully this is where it comes from, but we'll see it in the console, see what happens. And then it displays it down here, right there. So let's go, start it again. Oh, I forgot to define Axios. Looks like it's running over here. Refresh it. Let's see what we get from the console. That's what we're getting in. So where is our data? Well, there's some data. So it looks like it's object.data, not data. So back over here and try this. And there we go. So now what you're essentially doing is you're talking to, this is the client, and you're talking to Onshape to be able to get the STL data. You could do, you could get your GLTF files. You could get your pictures. You could get your Parasolid files. You could make updates, whatever you need to do. If you think about this, Onshape file right here, which you're working through, you're basically going to create all these little snippets inside this app.js, which then talks to the Onshape file. You think about this Onshape file as your CRUD file, if you're working with a database, which is create, read, update, delete. It does all of that. It just does it in a different fashion. Instead of using uh, those terms, what you're doing is you're using get, you're using post, and there's delete, using delete, upload. So you're using these different formats to get your similarities to CRUD. Oh, here we go. Got everything right here. It's nice and handy. So if let me create a. So I'm going to create a new GitHub to save this. So I'm going to create getting started. We're going to have a client. See if that works. Started client. I'll make that public. And then this tells you how to get everything up there. It's not the greatest, actually. When you say add, so we want to first create get a init. Git add, I say git add dot, and that loads everything. So we'll go and do all these commands. But what I will do is change them a little bit. Because I want everything in there. This is just, what this is doing is it's just creating the README file. So you want all your files, right? So we're uploading it to getting started client. So we just go into here. And we got to stop this. We're in my client. It's number 2. Nice and simple. I like simple. And copy and paste. And all that stuff happen. Git push. And it's going up there. And we can see if it's up there. And there it all is up there. Now all you got to do is you actually go to DigitalOcean and you just pull this in, and voila, it's done. It's so simple. And then you do the same thing with the server. So let's try that. Never know how you get to their actual. There we go. And we're going to call this server. And then we just copy and paste all of this stuff. Don't need that echo. And overwrite this. And change this to a dot. Go back over to here. We want to be in here. It's running, so we go Control C to stop the server. Seems to be locked up. Maybe I sent too much data again. Let's look what's going on here. Development server is disconnected. Refresh if necessary. Oh, maybe because I got the other guy stopped. Who knows? All right, so that worked. Go back over at GitHub, refresh this, and everything is up there and happy. All right, hopefully that explained everything. And other thing you want to look at, just your .env file is not up here, so somebody cannot. This is a public directory. Somebody can't get in there and steal your env file, and that's exactly why we did this. Did this right here and use that .env. Thanks for watching.